is the last time I ever did that.
Yeah.
And so it came back at us two more times before it kicked the sub out. But it blew the shit out of everything. And when I come up out of the bottom of that bucket, and when he did too, because he was down there too, when we come up out of the bottom of the bucket, I can hear the foreman on the ground going, "You guys all right? You guys all right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Are you okay?" Because he had just been down there working on the down guy that it had faulted to. And he says, I'm good. He said, and there was mud all over the bucket truck, all over the bottom of the bucket where the electricity had went to ground and threw mud off that down guy all over everything.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, we're okay." And I look up, and I look at that switch, and these were big porcelain switches, underslung switches. It was gone.
Yeah.
The whole fucking thing, except for that base plate that you put between the two cross arms. That was only that and about that much insulator. Everything else was completely fucking gone. The switch, all the metal, all the insulator, it was all gone. We couldn't find a fucking piece of it.
Yeah.
It had all been disintegrated and melted.
That was the way with this tool, you know.
I ain't shitting you a bit. It was gone, completely gone, evaporated.
How hot was the line? How much?
It was fucking hotter
voltage.
than the sun. That shit's hotter than the sun, my friend. When it blows up, it's hotter. They say when you get fault current like that, it's hotter than the fucking sun, and that's not a saying. They say it gets hotter than what the sun puts out.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's enough to melt porcelain, steel,
It
everything.
gets white
Poof.
hot where if you look at it,
It
it'll
blinds
burn
you.
your eyes.
It'll blind you.
Yeah, it'll blind you, and that's why we always, you know,
When you're
the
throwing a
fire
switch in, you go
started,
like
why
this.
You get down in your helmet.
That's
know.
right.
You'd be surprised how far down you.
You get underneath the fucking helmet. That's right. How small you can get underneath the helmet.
Yeah.
That's the truth too. But that's what they say. That's why when you throw a switch in, you go like this. You put your head down because the brim of your hard hat shields any hot metal or anything else that's coming at you.
Wow.
You could get burnt off of pieces, you know, but that's a physical burn. But if you're looking at that flash, it'll burn your eyes.
But it'll give you a sunburn. It sunburns you like that. It will the heat and the heat off it will give you a suntan in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, real quick.
First, second degree burns like that. But yeah, so that's why I always, when Dad told me that story, I was like, how in the hell can that burn a piece of metal? Until that happened to me, I was like, I come up out of the bottom of that bucket, I'll never forget it. I come up out of the bottom of the bucket and I looked and I'm like, holy shit, and my foreman's yelling. I said, "Yeah, we're good, we're good." And this lineman next to me is going, "God damn it, I told you to grab that." I said, "Fuck you. I told you not to put that goddamn hot hoist on top of that goddamn arm." I said, "Fuck you." He's like, "If you'd have grabbed that, we'd never had that fire." I said, "Fuck you." I said, "If you wouldn't have told me to put that fucker up there and never fell off, we'd never been in this fucking mess." And he tried blaming it on me, and I told him, I said, we went down, the foreman's like, "What in the fuck happened?" "Goddamn Sawyer wouldn't grab that goddamn hot hoist." I said, "Fuck you." I said, "Let me tell you what, you fire me, I don't give a flying fuck. I ain't working with this motherfucker again." I said, "I don't give a fuck." He was getting pissed. I'm like, "I don't give a fuck. What you wanted, whatever you want to do." At that point in time, I'd have beat every motherfucker in front of me. Because I was like, you want to blame it on me? You can try and blame it on me. I know what happened. I said, but I ain't working with you no more. I said, I told you not to do that. You did it anyway. And now you're trying to blame it on me. I said, fuck you. The foreman's like, "Are you guys okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're okay."
Through the years, you know, in storm trouble, there's a lot of things I remember, and sometimes I'd think to myself, when I was really in the thick of it, you know, I wonder if I'll ever get home to see my family again, you know. Just flashes through your mind. I was on School Street one time after a storm and putting up a three-phase that was down. There was so much load on it that when I was pulling it up and I put the pickup jumper on it,
Yep.
that it started sagging down from the load.
Sure, it was melting.
And it was melting, and I kept pulling it until I was all out of slack box.
Sure, and it's still
So
melting.
the only thing I could do is cut it.
Yep.
And so I reached out as far as I could, you know, away from me with my pliers and cut it. Of course, there was a big flash.
Let her drop.
But let it drop. I just because
There's nothing else you can do.
Pick it up,
Yep.
and so what we had to do is sectionalize it. We had to go different places
Yep. Isolate it.
and cut jumpers here and there, and pick it up piece at a time.
Sure.
Because
It was too much to pick up all at once.
You pull the wire with these slack blocks. Hell, I was all out of slack blocks. I got all this wire. It's all hot with 4,000 volts, and you know, you only got so much. I reached out, cut the son of a bitch, and hope it'll fall right.
I watched that 4 kV. I watched the first time I ever was on storm. One of the first times I watched that 4 kV burn through a branch about that big. It just landed on the branch.
Yeah.
And just started burning and never kicked and just burnt all the way through that branch.
Oh yeah, it'll trim trees.
Oh yeah, it just burnt right through it, and then it was laying on the ground still hot as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that old stuff that I remember, but I just...
When you talked about pulling that wire up, we heated a tub up, and there was the secondaries were somewhere. The secondary was grounded, but it wasn't grounded where it was going to kick the tub. And we're like, "What?" We seen something smoking. I'm like, "Something's smoking down the line." I said, "We better pull that cutout." And Jack McEwen's like, We'll see what the hell's wrong with it. See what the hell's wrong with it." I'm like, "Well, something's smoking down there." I said, "Pull that cutout." Pretty soon, here come the cutout blows out. Well, by now the three-phase or the secondaries all melted. The open secondaries all melted. It's all drooping. This is like, "Go pull that secondary up." So I'm trying to pull this secondary up. Well, it's 1/0 solid copper. Now it's like number 2 solid copper, but it was so goddamn hot that it was like taffy in your hand.
Yeah.
You know, so I put my hammer in it and try and do Western Union in it to roll it up, and the shit rolled up around my hammer. Then it got cold, and I couldn't get my damn hammer handle out of the goddamn copper. So now I got to cut it and put a sleeve into it. And McEwen's down there yelling at me. I'm like, "Hey, asshole, look, if you wouldn't have told me to throw that fuse in, and this shit wouldn't have got so hot that it was hanging on the, you know, drooping on the ground and shit." But I've seen that copper get so hot that it starts drooping.
Oh yeah.
You know you're in trouble then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What are they doing?
Well,
Same
I
thing.
think Clemson has probably got this one.
It looks like it. 37-16.
Score hasn't changed.
37-16. Let's see what's going on.
I think it's my bedtime.
Yeah, me too.
I'll see you folks in the morning.
Easy,